Dajiahao and welcome back in Nihao Putaojiu. I would like to thank you all so much for your support after the first episode. I'm so glad that you liked it. Some people asked me where to find Chateau Pelatour and Delin Saint-Esprit because they wanted to try the wines with the video. You can still send me a message on WeChat or Yoku. We tried 2 reds so far, so now we're going to try a white wine. The difference between red and white wine is pretty simple. Usually white grapes are going to give white wines and red grapes are going to give red wines. However, red grapes can also be used to make white wines. The skin and the seeds of the grape contain something called polyphenol, which is going to define the color of the wine. Once you harvest a grape, you're going to crush it to separate the skin and the juice to make wine. If you want your wine to be red, you're going to let the skin and the juice macerate together. But if you want to obtain a white wine, you're going to have to separate the skin and the grape. The first white wine that we're going to discover together in Nihao Putaojiu is Chablis. Chablis is an appellation from Burgundy located in the east of France. Burgundy produces some world-class reds and whites with very various styles. Today we're going to focus on Chablis located in the north of Burgundy. Chablis wines are made 100% from Chardonnay, thus it only gives white wine. The tasting profile of the Chablis mainly comes from the features of the soil. There are 2 main types of soil in Chablis. I put their name right here so you can remember them. The style of Chablis wines is very light, dry, with a strong minerality and a crisp acidity. It's very different from the rest of the white wines from Burgundy, which are usually heavier and richer. Also, almost all the Chablis wines are aged in vats and not in oak to preserve the freshness and the minerality of the soil. Some Grand Cru are sometimes fermented in barrels, but the oak always stays very discreet. Grand Cru is the higher level of this appellation, followed by Premier Cru, Chablis and Petit Chablis. The Chablis that we're going to discover together in this 3rd episode of Nihao Putaojiu is produced by the estate Jean Collet. The Collet family has now been making Chablis for 4 generations. They own parcels in 1 Grand Cru and 4 Premier Cru. Alright, so now that you know everything about Chablis, we can try this wine. The first thing that you need to pay attention to when you drink a white wine is its temperature. So for a Chablis, the perfect temperature would be around 9 or 10 degrees. Alright, so now we can take a look at this wine. This wine is rather bright. You can see some green reflections a little bit and also some golden nuances. So now let's study the aromas of this wine. On the nose, you have a lot of citrus fruits, which is very characteristic of the Chablis. And on this wine particularly, you have some slightly candied fruits. On this wine, what is very present, it's the minerality, and this is one of the key features of the Chablis wines. So as for the palate, it's very light. The beginning of the mouth is rather discreet, but then it grows little by little to reach a very beautiful final. And what I also really like about this wine, it's its nice acidity. As for the food pairing, this wine is beautiful on its own as an aperitif. It would also go very well with seafood or raw fish. I'm thinking about sushi, for instance. For the Western food, I think this wine would go very well with all the cream-based dishes. For instance, some simple pasta with cream and parmesan, it would go perfectly. As for Chinese cuisine, I would definitely have this wine with a sweet and sour sauce-based dish. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching the 3rd episode of Nihao Putaojiu. Now you know everything about Chablis. I would like to thank very much the team from Braston. It's a new bar and cake shop in Guangzhou and I strongly suggest you to try it out. Alright, time to go. I hope that you had fun. Stay tuned for the next episode and obviously, don't forget to drink wine.